Welcome back to Sports First, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right to the action. Bowders League talk, some reaction and prediction talk. As y'all know, um, today we start off with the Pelicans Suns pretty much just ended. Obviously, with the Suns putting a pretty good game at the very end. Brandon Ingram went down. It looked like he was grabbing at his tailbone. Hopefully, that's nothing too serious. Even with that, I mean, if it's serious or not, I don't believe this series gets any further than it has. Um, that game and the Timberwolves game, I believe, are the only two games that are probably going to have a chance at getting this game seven because the rest of the games, I honestly don't see anything in them. Yesterday we had the game where Luka Don, the Slovenian Don, went off and he had put up some big numbers. I think he had like 19 in the third. He almost had like 21 or 22, but went off the rim was a three. Um, Yesterday the 76ers could have finished it off. They didn't. James Harden wasn't really playing as well. Maxey wasn't playing as well, and Joel wasn't either. But I feel like James Harden needs to step up a little bit. Maxey, obviously, he had that pretty good game one, or was it game two? It was one of those two where he dropped the 40 piece, and the crowd just kept asking him for him to get the ball the whole time. Celtics obviously destroyed the frick. I wouldn't say destroyed. Well, technically it's destroyed because that's 4-0. You know, they pretty much got the dubs at the Nets freaking stadium, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that one forward. That was the only sweep actually, which is kind of crazy because I feel like the Toronto one could have been a sweep. And the Nets, the Miami Heat, the Hawks one could have easily been a sweep too. What was it, that third game? Oh man, I'm totally like, it's been so. It feels like it's been forever already since there's been so many games, so many playoff games been played. But just Trey the Gang or Trey the Truth, Trey the Truth, Ice Trey looking like more like a tray of ice. Compared to last season. But I guess Miami Heat got their revenge. That's another series that's done. I mean, one thing that the Miami Heat got from this series is that they know DeAndre Hunter is real. I mean, if you watch throughout the season last year, and this, he was already somewhat there. He just didn't get enough playing time. Um, but yeah, they got that, and they know that DeLon Wright is pretty real too, because he's been playing a lot of minutes actually. Him and DeLon Wright. Gallinari didn't really step up as much as he did in the first. What was it, first or like second game or so? Kevin Herter needs to step it up a little bit. Probably needs to work a little more on his game too. Even though this game during the end he played pretty decent. Then again, John Collins was playing with the thumb injury, or I don't know what kind of what finger. I think it was the thumb. And Clint Capella, as you all know, he was just come back from an injury. If it was the regular season, probably neither one of those players would actually be playing. So it's like you're somewhat playing with injuries and just the amount of pressure Trey was getting. It's just, they just didn't have it. Um, so yeah, I believe they somewhat got lucky that they got the one game anyways. And the other crazy thing is Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler weren't even playing, but I already had them. Actually winning. The thing is, these past 4 or 5 days, my prediction was pretty off. But today it was a pickup since I had all these games. At least I think I had, because this Timberwolves Grizzlies series, I was pretty close on it the whole time. But I'm pretty sure I just had my first perfect day. I think this is my first perfect day with all three teams winning. I had Dallas winning. I had 76ers win. Obviously, they lost. I had Nets winning 4 different times, and they lost all 4 freaking times. So that wasn't so great. And the Pelicans, obviously, as y'all noticed, they've been putting up a bigger fight than anybody, or at least I thought that they would. Obviously, I didn't think they were going to get in anyways. I thought the Clippers were going to get in. They were going to give the Suns a tough fight. But Pelicans have leveled it up, especially with their three rookies and Herb, Alvarado, and I feel like I was about to say the gem of them all, but Herb Jones is actually a really good defender, and Trey Murphy is a really good shooter. And actually, Alvarado is a pretty good defender too, but he's all around pretty good guard. The Nuggets obviously somewhat have been disappointing, but we all kind of, at least I expected it since they with the injured players and all that baloney. Jazz haven't really been playing so great, but I think Donovan Mitchell's had some sort of injury, but I'm not 100 on that. I expected some of the Bulls to put up a bigger fight also, but I mean, we somewhat saw during the regular season they were like 23. At one point, they were like 13-2 or 13-0. Well, pretty much as in losing, they didn't win a 0-13 or something like that, and then they're like 2 or 3 and 20 something against top four teams from East and West, or top three from East and West. So that was sign right there. But then again, at the same time, Patrick Williams wasn't there at the time. But they got Adasumo and Derek Jones, so that's somewhat of a good thing. If anything, this is actually a pretty good experience. You're similar to with the Pelicans. This is a good experience here, as in playoffs. You get that playoff experience, and next year, hopefully, it helps out a little bit. Other things. Obviously, you guys have seen how well Jordan Poole has been playing. He did somewhat go down. Was it Sunday or no? Not Thursday. Was it Sunday or Saturday? One of the 2 days he actually went down. Sunday he went down. They said it was his wrist, but it looked like they were taping up the elbow area. But I do feel they, as in the Nuggets, somewhat got lucky because there was it was a 5-point game with the Warriors leading, and they somehow got a win out of that. Now time for some predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, time for some predictions. It's obviously since 2 series are down, so we don't have as much predictions since, like I just said, 2 series are done. And I expect more tomorrow, to be honest. I don't know how, maybe somehow one of these teams, since the Bulls got their actual players, I believe they can somehow pull it off, but I'm going to go with the Bucks. Since last week, like 4 or 5 days ago when I recorded, I somewhat went with the not clear, like the option where, I should have pretty much gone with the favorites, but I didn't. So this time I'm going to actually go with the favorites because, well, actually I still went with the Warriors. I went with 76ers. It was just the Bulls that I wasn't going with, and it was the Bulls that I was going with. It was the Nets that I was going with. It's another team. No. Oh yeah, and that Dallas one where I chose Dallas and then Jazz somehow pulled it off. But so yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Just because I just haven't seen enough from the Bulls. Obviously chosen DeRozan shouldn't have a bad game. So this one is you could kind of say that it's like they have a really good chance of winning it. Also, with Chris Middleton was out last game and they dominated. I think they won around by 30 points or something. So that's why I'm gonna, just for that specific reason, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Bucks. And obviously that series is over, but I'm gonna go ahead and predict the Friday one too, and I'm gonna go with the Bucks again. Nuggets Warriors. I'm gonna go with the Warriors because similar to Bulls, they've just shown me that they don't have enough. And the other thing for Nuggets as well is they don't have enough firepower. As in, even though some of the other players have stepped it up a little bit, with the youngster John Bones Highland. Bones Highland was actually a really good player in the beginning of the year, or just the whole year. He's been pretty decent. Will Barton and them haven't really showed enough. Austin Rivers, even though actually Austin Rivers had a really good defensive play, which somewhat helped that. Aaron Gordon picked it up a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm still gonna go with the Warriors just because they just have way too much, you know. Even though Clay also dropped 30, I was looking at Clay's numbers, and Clay had some really good numbers. I didn't even actually look at the like defensive stats, or I was planning on looking at all these stats. As you could see, some of the teams I'm picking as, and it's just per games 28.8 rebounds per game. Bucks, Warriors leading in those categories. So and that's one crazy one right there. Timberwolves 8.4, but steals 9.4 for the Miami Heat. But yeah, let's get back to the prediction. Let's get back to the prediction now. Let me load up the screen real quick. So I was just at the Warriors versus Nuggets. Obviously, I chose Warriors. So those, obviously, I'm choosing them to win. So that's 4-1, 4-1. That's two series out of the way. Um, and I'm gonna go ahead and go with them again, similar to the freaking Bucks. So that means Friday we're only gonna have one game, and that's going to be Timberwolves versus Grizzlies. Then we got 76s on Thursday. So we're pretty much down to two games tomorrow, three games on Thursday. And this similar situations, to be honest, I can't go with the other teams. Even though actually the Raptors, I feel like they showed a lot, and the 76ers showed a lot of reasons why I shouldn't trust them. But since it's 3-2, and I feel like they're gonna go ahead and close it out. I feel like James Harden or one of either if Harden or Maxey shows up, one of them shows up, like just drops a couple of points, and the other one drops a good amount of points. Obviously, Embiid is most likely going to show up. One player that I'm shocked that hasn't really shown or done anything too much is Shake Milton and Matthias Tybel. Tybel. Um, Obviously, I'm pronouncing that last name wrong, but whatever. Matthias. Matthias. Um, there was somebody who was thinking of who am I thinking of right now? Timmy. Yeah, Timmy. I'm pretty sure he's injured. I don't know. They brought up he has some sort of injury, but I need to look into that too, actually. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with the 76ers, even though I feel like the Toronto Raptors are actually probably gonna pull it off. I'm still gonna go pick the 76ers and say the series ends. If it doesn't, obviously we're gonna have a game six. I don't think I'm gonna choose the Saturday games because I'm probably gonna have another video on Friday or record one on Friday. Friday. Um, Suns Pelicans. I'm gonna go with the Suns because I feel like that Brandon Ingram situation is a little worse than it is. CJ McCollum didn't actually show up too much, but they're a team that is all around has a whole bunch of talent. Devontae Graham, I thought he would do a little bit more than he has. They actually, they just so he was one of their biggest signings last year, or the bigger signing. Obviously, CJ was mid-season signing. Um, so I'm gonna go with Suns with Mikal Bridges showing up, Cam Johnson showing up, and also Devin Booker's been out. So and he's probably gonna be out for 3 weeks. So that's somewhat dangerous for them for the next round because wait, they're number one. They get Dallas Mavericks. They got so Dallas Mavericks, Jazz. I think D Mitchell's also dealing with some sort of injury. They just don't have enough at all. Similar with the Nuggets, they don't have enough firepower to deal with Spencer Dinwiddie, Jalen Brunson, Luka Doncic. If anything, they have a three-headed snake, as in with Luka just a monster. He's the leader of the snake, and Jalen Brunson, he's just the maestro, just doing all that he can. And I mean, he's really hard. He's actually really hard to stop just by himself. So you got to deal with him and Luka. I'm not sure how healthy Luka is right now, but he was actually looking like he was healthy. I honestly thought he was going to probably miss the rest of the series, and they were going to have to try to figure a way out to win without him, even though they were doing pretty good without him, anyways. So that's another reason why I'm going to go with the Mavericks to say the series is over as well. So pretty much what I'm telling y'all is the majority of the series are over. If anything, the freaking 76ers and the Timberwolves series, I think I said another one is probably going to have a chance. Oh, the Suns one has a chance too, since the Pelicans actually played pretty well. So those three series have a slim to none chance of, well, actually more of a slim um, chance of actually getting to game seven. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Suns again, even if they lose the third one or the one before that. Oh wait, I'm tripping. But yeah, I was actually I might have just predicted a game that was already played. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the game six Suns. Mavericks. I think I might have already said that actually. Jazz. No. Game six Mavericks. Game six Grizzlies versus Timberwolves. Since the Grizz got this one, I'm actually gonna go ahead and go with the Timberwolves because I believe this is the game where, or this is the main series. I feel like it's gonna go to Game Seven because just the talent all around. Both teams just they have firepower everywhere. Also, Timberwolves brought out a little bit more with Naz Reid and Prince also get more minutes. Mikhail, who was it? Mikhail Beasley. Is it Mitchell Beasley? Michael Beasley. Mikhail Beasley. Am I getting his name mixed up with Mikhail Bridges? I think it's Mikhail. Whatever. Beasley. Let's just go with Beasley. But yeah, since they started using him as well. Um, so yeah, with that, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with that. Also, this game was pretty crazy. The last game, the game that was actually played today. Freaking John Morant stepped up. He hit a three. He hit two free throws, and he hit a freaking game-winning layup with 1 second left on the clock. And I mean, that's what you're supposed to do as the star of the team. And yeah, pretty much showed up. Even though Dylan Brooks hasn't been the same Dylan Brooks as the regular season, I don't know if he's dealing with some issue as well. Obviously, he was injured during the season or during the end of the season. Hopefully, he gets past this round and picks it up and all. I'm gonna go ahead and go with them again if the series isn't over, which I expect it to be over Bucks, similar with the Warriors Nuggets. I think this is already over, so I'm gonna go with the Warriors again, and that's gonna be it for today. And hopefully, I'm gonna come back on Friday. If I come back on Friday, it's probably less of a prediction and more of just a recap, because even the freaking Grizzly series could be over, because just I mean, just how the game ended and all, and just I mean, who knows? It's probably going to come down to the wire again. But then again, during the was it the first or second game that the or third game, Timberwolves actually dominated. But I expect that one to go to Game Seven. If and out of the majority of them, who knows? Maybe somehow freaking Nuggets and freaking Bulls and well, Raptors actually can probably do it too. But these two have the highest chance, I believe, of making it to a Game Seven. Third would go to Pelicans. That's just my prediction right there, ladies and gentlemen. Sabotage. Wow. Wow. Wow.